Hey guys, it's Wisconsin AirGunners here. It's PJ. Well, it's been a long day from SHOT Show. Day number 2 is in the books. Long day on the floor, lots of stuff to see, lots of stuff to show you. Nothing too super in-depth. I'm really not set up for that kind of filming. But I do want to show you a few of the things that I saw and give you my opinions of them. Post is getting put together pretty late tonight, mostly because my boss wanted us to go zip lining. So we went down to Fremont Street to try that out. Here I am in the lead, coming down the line right there. It's actually a lot of fun, and if you're ever in Vegas, I recommend you try it. So enough of that fun stuff. Let's look at some other fun stuff. Here's a look at I guess lower end 10-meter pistol. It's a single stroke pneumatic, the 6004 FAS. Felt pretty good in the hand. You can see that the pistol grip is pretty rough and that you'd probably wind up doing some of your own carving on it. The trigger is very light, but I'm not sure I think the action is particularly smooth. I was interested in taking a look at this one, but it has been moved off of my wish list. My next stop was at ATA Arms. I haven't really ever heard anything about them, so it was a quick stop just to see what they had to offer. The rifles felt really good, and the way they did the hand grips on the bullpups made them very comfortable, but certainly not at all ambidextrous. My next stop was at the Red Stitch Target booth. They have a really cool modular setup that includes these spinning targets. This is really more of a real steel thing. Very heavy duty stuff, very heavy stuff, but really cool to watch. All the pieces are modular and configurable, so you can set up these big spinning competition style targets. If you shoot real steel, this is definitely a company to take a peek at. From there I stopped in at the Kaiser booth. They had a couple of really sweet looking knives. The thing you can't tell from the video is how smooth the ball bearing action is on these knives. They're flipper style, but man, they just seem to spring open. And look at the Damascus metal on this blade. Absolutely beautiful. Pricey, but beautiful. The next stop was at the Mantis booth. Mantis is a pretty interesting company. They basically make one product. It's a small computerized accelerometer device that clips to the Picatinny rail on either a pistol or a rifle. I've used this with an air gun. I've also used it in dry fire, and what it does is it analyzes and gives you a graphic view of what's happening in terms of movement with your trigger pull. And this can really help you to improve your shooting. Obviously it can also be used with live fire with real steel. That's what it was developed for. They had a bit of competition going at their booth. I was pretty happy to get myself in third place on the leaderboard. Right across the way was the Wicked Edge booth. These guys put together a really nice series of knife sharpening kits. They start in the couple $100 range and go up into the over $1,000 range. But they were good enough to put a good edge back on my Gerber. And then we were off to see some more air guns. There was lots to see at the Air Venturi booth, including this Aspen multi-pump pneumatic. I've seen some reviews on it. I do think it's a very pointable gun, and while the stock does feel hollow, the gun overall feels solid, and I think might be worth a look. There was lots to see from Air Arms, but there were two rifles that caught my attention. First is this beautiful green stocked S510. But look at the surprise it has up front. That's right, dual air cylinders. You can love or hate the color on this RSN 70 with its leather inlay, but just look at the price tag. Also on display were some new offerings from Air Force, including some side lever big bores. If you're looking for a big bore, it's hard to go wrong with Air Force. They make a great gun and there's lots of customization options. But just look at the size of the moderator on this thing. If you have any interest in 10-meter pistols, they had a couple on display. I'm particularly interested by this Alpha Project model, in part because the price is right at about $800. The action is interesting on this one in that the bolt and pellet probe operate independently of the cocking mechanism, which is the beehive looking knob just below the logo. Unfortunately for me and my interest in this pistol, the grip is too short, and I don't think I could make it work. Also on display were rifles from Kral, and a few samples from Ataman. The best thing about being at an event like the SHOT Show is the people you meet. I will say that I'm going to be watching some review videos with a little more attention and interest, because the people who are making them know a ton about our sport. I got to spend a little time talking to the guys at the Night Sight booth. This is a pretty interesting product for night vision. It's reasonably priced, and it gives you a really clear viewfinder that mounts directly on to your scope. There are recording versions and non-recording versions, so you have to make sure you're looking at the right unit when you make a purchase. But it's easy to set up, it can move from gun to gun, and it's definitely a cost-effective way to get into pest control at night. The unit I saw was definitely clear enough to take precision shots. I talked a little bit with the folks at the Protector booth. They make some of my favorite leather bag rests. They also make a really nice front bench rest. This one is adjustable not just for height, but for windage as well. Those products really aren't new, but it was good to see them in person and get a feel for how sturdy they are. Exciting and new, and based on customer requests, is a series of squeeze bags. These should be out in stores within 2 or 3 months and have very good stitching and good proportions. If you're looking for a squeeze bag, I would definitely check these out. I tried to stop at the booth to see what all the fuss was about with the Calibri gun Cricket. Unfortunately, their staff was busy with other stuff, and I wasn't actually able to talk to anyone or handle any of the rifles. There was lots to see at the Hatsan booth. Lots of new rifles and returning things to their lineup. They all felt really good. I think if you like their style, you'll be happy with what's out this year. I do wish with their marketing that they would focus less on maximum velocity. I don't know anyone who's trying to shoot pellets at 1400 feet per second. I was interested in checking out the sortie. because it looked like it could be a nice compact pigeon shooting gun. Unfortunately, the way that the hand grip is situated, it's more like a target gun, and it just doesn't fit my hand. That little nub just behind the trigger digs in to my middle finger. So that about wraps it up for today. I'll have more stuff to talk about tomorrow. Got 2 more days at the show. I've probably seen 2/3 of all the booths I anticipate seeing. So there's still more to come, and I've got a couple other things that I didn't have time for tonight that I'll get to tomorrow. So thanks for watching. Hope you liked the video, and we'll see you in about 24 hours. Bye.